Today, we're jumping into a truly epic story. It's a story all about destiny, honor, and one of the most unbelievable plot twists in history. We're talking about Shri Ram, a prince who was born to rule a kingdom but ended up finding it somewhere completely unexpected, in the heart of the wilderness.
So meet Shri Ram. He's the eldest son of King Dasharatha of Ayodhya. And let me tell you, this guy had it all. He was virtuous, the people absolutely adored him, and he was the celebrated heir to this massive, powerful throne. His future, it seemed like it was written in the stars, just paved with peace and prosperity for his entire kingdom.
And yet, this is where his real journey kicks off. Not in some grand, fancy court, but right here, in the quiet, humble forest. So you have to ask, right? How does a prince who is literally days away from his own coronation end up in exile? Well, that's the incredible story we're getting into today.
Now, our story actually starts way before anyone was even thinking about exile. It starts with a call to adventure, one that would test the young prince's courage and really set him on the path to becoming a hero.
So imagine this. Everything's calm and peaceful in Ayodhya. And then the great sage Vishwamitra shows up. And he is not there for a friendly chat. His sacred fire rituals, which are, super important for keeping the cosmos in balance, are being constantly attacked by these terrible demons.
But what's so fascinating is what he asks for. The sage doesn't ask for the king's army. He doesn't want his best generals. He specifically asks for Ram, a young prince who hasn't really been tested in a real battle yet. Vishwamitra clearly sees this divine spark in him that maybe nobody else does.
And Ram, being the dutiful son he is, accepts the mission. He heads out with his brother Lakshmana, who is fiercely loyal and always by his side. And this isn't just some minor skirmish. Their first big test is a battle against the terrifying demoness Tataka, a being of just immense, monstrous power. And you know what? They win. They prove the sage's faith in them was right on the money.
But that first mission, that was just the beginning. Ram's journey was turning out to be about so much more than just fighting bad guys. It was about actively bringing righteousness and compassion back into the world. With the main threat taken care of, Ram and Lakshmana basically become guardians. And this is where you really see their purpose crystallize. They're not conquerors. They're protectors of dharma, the righteous path. And because of their courage, the cosmic balance can finally be restored.
Now, this moment really shows you a different side of Ram's power. It's not all about fighting. As they're traveling, they come across Ahalya, a woman who was cursed to live as a stone. And with a single divine touch, Ram restores her humanity. It just shows this incredible capacity for compassion and redemption. Okay, so Ram has proven his strength, he's proven his virtue, and now his journey takes him to a totally different kind of challenge. This isn't just a test of power, it's a test of divine favor. And the prize? The hand of a princess. The whole thing is set up for the Swayamvar of Princess Sita. That's basically a ceremony where she gets to choose her husband. Her father, King Janak, made a decree. Only the man who can lift and string Panaka, which is the actual personal bow of Lord Shiva, can marry his daughter. I mean, we're not talking about a regular weapon here. This is a divine artifact with impossible weight and power.
Just try to picture the scene. You've got the greatest kings, the mightiest warriors from all over the world gathered in this huge hall. One by one, they get up, they try to lift the bow, and one by one, they fail. Most of them can't even get it to budge an inch. It starts to look like the challenge is just flat out impossible.
And then, the young prince of Ayodhya steps forward. With a kind of grace that just stuns everyone in the room, Ram lifts the bow. But he doesn't just lift it. As he goes to string it, the celestial bow, the one no other man could even move, snaps in half with a sound like a clap of thunder.
This one single divine act just proves that Ram is something more than just a man. It secures his marriage to Sita, and their union is celebrated everywhere as this perfect, destined match. A true hero, worthy of a divine princess.
So, after this unbelievable triumph, Ram heads back to Ayodhya a hero, all set to be crowned king. But, just when his future seems the brightest, these dark shadows of jealousy and ambition start to creep into the palace.
While the entire kingdom is getting ready to celebrate, a poisonous idea begins to spread. Mentara, who's the maid to the king's second wife, Queen KK, starts whispering in her ear. She convinces the queen that if Ram takes the throne, her own son, Bharat, will be totally forgotten and cast aside. She just preys on all of Kaikeyi's deepest fears. So Kaikeyi decides to make her move. See, years and years ago, King Dasharatha had granted her 2 boons, basically 2 wishes, for saving his life in battle. Now, on the night before Ram's coronation, of all times, she cashes them in. Her demands are devastating. First, her son Bharat must be crowned king instead of Ram. And second, Ram must be exiled to the forest for 14 long years.
For King Dasharatha, this is just an absolute catastrophe. He loves Ram more than anything. But in those days, a king's word was sacred. To break a promise was the greatest dishonor imaginable. So he's trapped by his own code of ethics, completely heartbroken, but he cannot refuse her.
But here, this is the most astounding part of the whole story. When Ram is told that he's lost his kingdom and has to go into exile, he shows zero anger, no resentment. He just calmly accepts his fate. For Ram, his highest duty, his dharma, was to make sure his father's honor was protected, no matter what it cost him personally.
And just like that, the path was set. The fancy coronation robes were swapped for the simple clothes of a hermit, and the greatest prince of his time prepares to walk away from everything he has ever known.
But here's the thing, he doesn't go alone. His wife Sita insists that her place is right there beside him, whether it's in a palace or a hut in the forest. And his brother Lakshmana, well, he can't even imagine a life in Ayodhya without Ram. So they both choose. They voluntarily choose the hardship of exile, all for love and loyalty.
And all of this leaves us with this really profound question, one that gets to the very heart of this story. Think about it. Ram had the power, he had the love of the people, he could have fought for his throne, and yet he chose to honor a promise that was deeply unjust. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you're faced with injustice, where does true strength lie? In doing your righteous duty or in bold defiance?